Okay, I guess we're recording. You can't see my flag of the Spanish rebels back here. But I got a question from Jack Semino or Camino. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. He asked, "Can you tell me how the change of the Catholic Mass is damaging? My dad had been to the Latin Mass, and he said it was very rigid. Maybe he's using an anecdote fallacy. What's his experience?" Um, and I said, no problem, I'll do a video on Vatican II. I'll do a video for you. Vatican II was the most detrimental thing to ever happen to the Western Church. He says, would Vatican II happen if Pope John Paul II didn't exist or become Pope? Vatican II, I believe it started with Paul VI and ended with John the 23rd. And it started out very conservatively to address just certain issues. And I'm not a sedevacantist, and I've never been into conspiracy theories, but it does look like the Freemasons did infiltrate. Before Vatican II, you had Protestants pouring into the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church was regaining a lot of its former people who had enough of Protestantism, and the Catholic Church was growing immensely in strength and in numbers. What Vatican II did is it took almost 2,000 years of the Latin Rite Mass. Mind you, the Tridentine Mass was that was altered around the Council of Trent, right? Tridentine Mass. But it still looked more like an Eastern Orthodox church. The altars faced, the priest and the congregation faced the same way. The priest didn't stand behind the altar, he stood in front of it. It was done in Latin, just like how the Muslims pray in Arabic. So it was a sacred, holy language, right? The homilies were obviously given in the vulgar language, in the vernacular. Confession was practiced. The fasting periods were practiced. There was no eating anything on Sunday morning before the Eucharist, and they took things very seriously. And if you look at the churches that were built prior to Vatican II, they are beautiful. They have statues and images of saints, and it looks like a holy place to worship God in. If you look at post-Vatican II, they look like Protestant churches with just a crucifix, and they might have an image or a statue of the Virgin Mary and Saint Joseph. That's it. And and also very Art Deco, postmodernistic looking Stations of the Cross that are tiny. And there's no pride in the buildings anymore. They're not built out of marble and made to glorify God and be beautiful. This caused people to leave in droves because it's just like the Protestants. I remember I tried to go to confession before, this is before I was Orthodox. After I had left the religion of the Antichrist, basically, and I said, yeah, can I go to confession? And he said, yeah. And the priest sat behind a desk in his office and listened to me talk. Now, in Eastern Orthodox Church, you're kneeling in front of an icon of Christ, and the priest is in his full vestments, and he, rests stole over your head, makes the sign of the cross, and all of these things are taken extremely seriously. I believe there's now even female altar boys, which in the Eastern Orthodox Church, no female will ever set foot on the altar. When I mean the altar, I mean anything behind the iconostasis. There will never be a female back there, because it is a place for a man. The Roman Catholic Church started investigating its long-held saints and started demoting them, like St. Christopher and St. Valentine. They were about to get rid of the relics of Chrysanthus and Daria when they stumbled across them and found out, oh my God, we actually have their bones. They got rid of William of Norwich, who was martyred by the Jews. They made a bunch of ridiculous ecumenical statements. Just obscene things, which led us to John Paul II, who entered into a synagogue as well as kissed a copy of the Quran. Now, I'd rather people be Roman Catholic than Protestant, because they still have the saints and the Theotokos and the Eucharist and baptism. But there is nothing there. There's no sticking power there. There's nothing. It doesn't feel holy at all. Look at an Eastern Orthodox service and look at a Roman Catholic service. The priesthood is dying off. It used to be people were rushing to become priests, right? And you had a wide variety of great men who were priests. And I know there's a lot of slander against the Roman Catholic priests for what some of them did, which, and as much as I bash on on the heresies of the Roman Catholic Church, there's more child sexual abuse in mosques, synagogues, and Protestant churches than there is in the Roman Catholic Church. And a celibate man does not automatically equate to being a pedophile. There are plenty of good Catholic priests on YouTube that have channels. I could put links to them. But Vatican II, ever since Vatican II, the Roman Catholic Church has been hemorrhaging parishioners. And just look at their, they now allow cremation. Think about that. They allow for cremation. How many Roman Catholics do you know that get their houses blessed when they moved into them? How many Roman Catholics do you know that wear their baptismal medal and will not take it off under any circumstance? How many Roman Catholics do you know that when they get married, they will have as many kids as they can and they will raise them Catholic? After the Cristeros, fought and died and suffered in Mexico for 20 years, the hands of a vicious anti-Catholic regime. After the children of Portugal held out under torture from the atheistic regime of Portugal, after the martyrs of the French Revolution, all of a sudden in the 60s, well, we're just going to become like the Protestant, because, times are changing. Because, that's a great thing that religion does, is it just changes all the damn time. Had Vatican II not happened, I would be Roman Catholic. I'd probably have a lot of problems with it, things like transubstantiation or whatever, but look at a modern Roman Catholic Church. Where are all the saints? Where's William of Norwich? What about St. Valentine? St. Christopher? They've brought these things into question. And I mean, there's a myriad of things, and they have been hemorrhaging parishioners. When before Vatican II, people had seen Protestantism fail, and they were returning to the Roman Catholic Church. G.K. Chesterton, J.R.R. Tolkien, C.S. Lewis was on his way to becoming a Roman Catholic before he died. Protestantism would have been gone. But this is my only conspiracy theory that I hold, is that the Freemasons got in. And it's John the 23rd who's hailed as, oh, what a great guy John the 23rd was. John the 23rd and Pope Francis are a plague. They are a pox on the Catholic people. Benedict was alright. Pope John Paul II kissed a Quran, as well as entered into a synagogue. And all the beautiful traditions that were done for thousands of years were all of a sudden just done away with. And now you can cremate the dead, which is an abomination. They took chisels to the altars and turned them around so that the priest is facing the congregation and not praying with the congregation to God. So now it's, again, very Protestant. The churches are all whitewashed. You might have a side chapel that's pre-Vatican II that actually has the beautiful statues and images. And yes, the Orthodox were not fond of three-dimensional iconography like statues, but I will take statues any day of the week over the blank, desolate abomination of desolation that is the whitewashed Art Deco, nothing vacantness of a new Roman Catholic Church. the St. Irene's, they turned their old chapel into a basketball court. Now, pre-Vatican II, that would never happen. Once ground is consecrated, it is never, ever to be used as anything else. And what happened to all the great Catholic missionary work and charity work? I mean, the Roman Catholic Church is set up what we know as hospitals in the Western world, in the world, from their own money, and then they just sell them out to private businesses, and they don't take moral stances. The only one good thing they do is they stand up against abortion. Peace to you. I mean, it's a travesty. Worshipping the glory of God is not supposed to be a jam band and fun. That's why people are flocking to the Eastern Orthodox Church, because it's the last one left. It's the last one left. And these evangelical churches are a fad, and they will just manufacture atheism.